What's up, my good peoples? Let me just do a video real quick because I got the time. I'm out here writing, man, so I'm trying to spend my time the best way I can. Anyway, we've been talking about this Outkast and Tribe thing. I kind of forgot about it for a while. It's probably not going to happen, and it is what it is. But I was looking at, I think it was like Joe Budden's, he was talking about it. I just happened to stumble across the link. You know how YouTube be with those algorithms and all that. And I don't really watch the Joe Budden show. I just find that they ramble a lot, and it's not really my cup of tea. And it's not as they don't get to the topic fast enough for me, and it's not really like on topic. One of the things you can say about me, you can say whatever you want, but if you look at all my videos, I'm giving you hip hop content. I'm not rambling about other shit. Like, I'm not rambling about, the time my cat, snipped my balls or some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that Joe Budden be on. Like, Joe Budden would just ramble because he's trying to fill time, right? And so you're not really, if you do the math, you're not really getting much hip hop content in a way given the amount of time that they're talking. I keep it hip hop. That's all I care about right now. So, my point is, they were talking about how Outkast could, wash Tribe or beat Tribe or something like that. And I was like, this is the same Fabulous shit that these guys were on, and then Fabulous got washed, okay? Hell no. If Tribe picks the right tracks, not even that, actually. Let me put it this way. If Outkast doesn't pick the right tracks, they could fuck around and get washed, okay? Let's be honest here. Tribe and Outkast, it is an interesting battle. It's a decent one, but Tribe are way better. Let's be honest here, okay? Q-Tip is a top 10 rapper of all time in terms of catalog. I'm not saying in terms of mic skills and all that. He's very good mic skills wise. He's an amazing rapper, period. He's someone that should be mentioned whenever you talk about rap. But the point is that Q-Tip's catalog, the Tribe Called Quest, which is basically Q-Tip and Fife and, Jerobi. I met Jerobi once, actually, good dude. Jerobi and Ali Shaheed, like, their catalog is ridiculous. Okay, the sheer amount of bangers that those guys have, bangers, not like wishy-washy songs. Okay, they would murder Outkast. Honestly, they could really murder them. I mean, Outkast, I like Outkast. I think Outkast are dope. Again, I think Big Boy is dope. I think 3000 is dope. But there is a notch that Outkast they don't quite hit in terms of hip hop goodness that Tribe does. I mean, I'm just being honest here. You know what I mean? And I like those guys. I like Outkast. But their music is a little lower energy. That doesn't work for Verzuz. Again, Verzuz is about this hip hop shit, right? If you've noticed, it really is like the bangers, right? The energetic records. Tribe's records are very street. They go really hard, actually. Even though they're on some positive shit, you know what I'm saying? And they're kind of cool, whatever. But as Styles P once said, when you listen to Tribe, you knew they were from the street, but they weren't necessarily talking about street shit, if that makes sense. So it was like, or they grew up like close to where street shit was going on. You know what I mean? So these were not like safe suburban cornballs or whatever who didn't have no life to them. You know what I mean? Like, their beats were gutter. They were gutter in a certain kind of way. They had a lot of energy. Like Bonita Applebum, right? Can I Kick It? Footprints. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Scenario. 8 Million Stories. I think is that the one on Midnight Marauders? The one that Fife rocks? Midnight. I mean, these are you throw them shits on, man. Them shits is rugged. And that was the thing I always loved about Tribe. They were positive, they were conscious and they were cool and happy, but they were still street. And you need that. Outkast, to me, their stuff is a little bit lower energy. It's a little bit more R&B-ish and pop. You guys are not going to admit it. A lot of Outkast fans don't want to admit that shit, but it's the truth. I mean, they were on La Face or something like that, or Arista, one of the two. They're coming out of Atlanta, home of TLC. They're making pop rap. Okay, Outkast has always made poppier rap. Let's be real here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's their family tree. They're coming from a tribe and a native tongues, but they're doing it with a little bit more of a pop, bent to it, and they've always been like that. Now, does Andre 3000 have bars? Absolutely. Is Andre 3000 a fantastic rapper? Absolutely. Right? Is Big Boy a really dope rapper? Absolutely. But their stuff was always a little bit more. It was a tiny bit less hip hop. It was more towards the sort of the R&B and funk, Parliament funkadelic. Which, yes, those are roots of hip hop. But again, what makes hip hop is that hip hop moved away from that. It took that stuff and made its own thing. So when you're kind of going backward into the jazz and the Sly Stone and shit like that, right? You're less hip hop, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. You're getting like, yes, you are making music that is the like that respects and sort of is in the vein of our forefathers or hip hop forefathers that put us on the map. But again, hip hop took that and ran with it. So for you to kind of run backward to a certain degree is kind of watering it down a little bit. Let's be real here. It doesn't mean that you can't make dope music. I think Outkast made some amazing music. I think a lot of their shit is dope. But am I playing Outkast like that? No. You know what I mean? Every now and then I might listen to an Outkast song. They're not hip hop like that. Like they're not, overall. Their shit isn't something I just throw on and be like, yo, I haven't heard that Outkast joint in a minute. I gotta throw that on, right? Whereas like I'll be in my car and I'll be like, we can get down, we can get down, right? Tribe. Or Footprints or Benita, like, you know what I mean? These are hip hop records. They've gone on. Benita Applebum has, gone on to influence God Part 2, Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? Like, Q-Tip was working with Mobb Deep and shit, man. It's not the same thing, man. It's really not. And that's why I say that at the end of the day, they could actually fuck around and get washed. And you could say, oh, well, they have Hey Ya, The Way You Move. Ain't nobody care about that shit, man. Let's be honest. Those records are dope. Again, those are good records for a comfortable sort of pop, everyone all together records. Those are good records. Those, I liked Hey Ya in its day. I still think it's a good song. Do I listen to Yeah Hey Ya? No. You know what I mean? Do I listen to The Way You Move? Absolutely not. Right? But they're good songs. But my point is that, so like what they play Hey Ya and then, Tribe respond with a war tour, right? Or Check the Rhyme. It's not gonna ring the same, man. Trust me on that shit. It's really not. Check the Rhyme is like, check the rhyme, and then you know what I mean. The way they be rocking that video, that beat is dumb hard. That's what I'm talking about, man. Tribe to me, of all the conscious cats in a sense, I would argue like if we were to put all of them in the basket with Common, Mos Def, Tribe, De La, Jungle Brothers, all that shit, to me it's like, Tribe. Tribe. And Mos Def was the most lyrical and interesting of the bunch, but he didn't make as much music, right? Tribe was good. Like those first 3 albums, especially like damn near flawless records well, there were definitely flawless records on all 3 of them, but like what I'm saying is almost play through, right? I have an OG friend who he was much old guy, right? And he was telling me when Tribe came out, man, like it was like, I don't know if I've said this before, but he was just like, he was blown the fuck away. Like that's like, the last time I talked to him was maybe a decade ago, but he was like, that's my favorite rap album ever. And this is the guy that grew up on Rakim when Rakim and them came out, like he was of age and all that. But, and this is where I tell you, when Q-Tip first came out, some people were disappointed because it was like, oh, we have Rakim and Kane and Kool G, and it's like, how come Q-Tip don't really have bars like them? It wasn't like he didn't take it to the next level bar wise. But what some of those people missed and eventually started to realize very quickly is that Q-Tip took it up a notch sonically. Like his beats and the vibe, he just took it to a whole nother level. And that's why, again, I stress, I always tell you, man, lyrics don't really matter like that. Like, the people that talk about this lyric stuff, they're not really listening to this hip-hop shit. Again, doesn't mean that you can't have bars. Of course, I love bars. Just listen to Jerry the Damager today. I love bars, man. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I love a great rhyme. But at the end of the day, you have to have great music. You have to make a great beat, and your voice has to flow on it. It has to feel good on that beat and be in pocket with the rhythm. That's how you make classic shit, and that's my point. Like, all that stuff with Rakim and Kane and all that was amazing. But when Q-Tip came out with not Midnight, but A People's Instinctive, Like that was some other shit, man. That was some other shit, and that's the whole thing. Like Outkast don't have that. Like, you know what I mean? They don't. I'm gonna be real with you. Like they're cool. They make music for almost like the coffee latte crowd that's kind of like taking over, their appeal or whatever. And they're just not in that boat. You know what I'm saying? A lot of their stuff is very very slow, and it won't work. So they would get murdered, honestly, if Outkast don't sort of watch out, and if you know Q-Tip and them and try to pick the right shit. But otherwise, it would be a relatively close battle to a certain extent. I mean, I think Tribe would win that hands down anyway. But it would be an interesting battle because again, you're comparing two great groups. You're comparing two legendary, great artists. So it would be fun. But let's knock it off with the Tribe will get washed stuff. Anybody that thinks that is a casual, let's be honest here. Anyway, I'm gonna talk to you all later. All right. Oh, my last thought before I go. I did watch the Jeezy and Gucci battle. I watched like half of it. It was pretty boring, and the other half I just wasn't even really paying attention, to be honest with you. Um, I kind of thought Jeezy took it, to be honest with you, even though I had said that Gucci would take it. But Gucci did not play any of the songs, any of the songs that I even thought were decent of his. He ended up playing both, I think, and I was the only track. The other stuff he played to me was straight trash. I mean, like I think I didn't recognize a lot of those songs, and I was just like, what is this shit? You know what I mean? Whereas, of course, Jeezy played some of the songs that I mentioned. So, yeah, I think Jeezy, I guess, slightly got it, but it was such a boring battle between the two of them, and nobody cares about those two guys musically, man. I mean, Jeezy came out just recently with an album, and it went triple plastic. Like, nobody gives a fuck, man. Like, that's like WWE shit. That's the whole point with having these regional acts that do the verses. Yeah, it's their biggest verses that they got so far because a whole bunch of people from the ATL or whatever tuned in. You know what I mean? On some like, oh, our legends are here. But again, people tuned in because of fuckery. They didn't tune in because of music. So it's like, what does that really mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's WWE shit. Who cares? So I didn't, I wasn't impressed by that battle. And it's not like at the end of it, I was like, oh, these aren't people that I normally listen to, but I got put onto some great new music. Nah. Nah, it was just some boring shit, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, peace.